Thank you, realist. That's crazy. I did all that for nothing. Now I got to go all the way back. That was wild. My apologies. I'll start the show all the way over. I thought I'd hit the button. But once again, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat, Mr. 33. Uh, I'm Mr. 33. So what happened was I had my mic on mute, didn't realize it, and then I just kept going with it. So I will just start where I'm at right now. So uh appreciate you, realists, for sticking there, staying there. The Pistons are in first place in the Eastern Conference, followed by the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, and the Raptors. That's the 1 through 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10 is the Heat, the Sixers, the Hawks, and the Hornets. And then we got the Bucks, the Bulls, the Nets, the Wizards, and the Pacers. Now, those E's on the side means they are eliminated. They cannot make the playoffs, so they're just finishing out their season with their 15 and 17 and 15 games respectfully in the Eastern Conference. That's the Pacers, Wizards, and the Nets. From the Western Conference, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder was 53 and 15, followed by the Spurs, the Lakers, who was once six and now they're third this week, the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. They would be safe from the play-in tournament if the playoffs started today. But as you can see, they're a game and a half. The lead is anywhere from half a game to a game and a half to get to the third seed. So there's a scramble over there. And then in the bottom, you got the Suns, the Clippers, the Golden State Warriors, and the Portland Trailblazers. Now, last week, the Warriors and Clippers were switched. The Clippers were ninth and the Warriors were eighth. But because they played games, the Warriors have lost a couple of games, and then the Clippers won their games. They switched, and now they're in the eighth seed, uh, and the Warriors are 2 games back. So um, I showed y'all the scores and stuff like that, but something happened during the week, right? Appreciate you, realist. Something happened during the week. We had a game between the Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards, and Bam Adebayo scored 83 points, right? And everybody had something to say about it. Let me just say this: 83 points is super crazy, right? For those of you that don't know, the most points scored in an NBA game on record is Wilt Chamberlain with 100 points. Now it's like 63 years ago. We remember Kobe doing 81 about 20 years ago um, against the Toronto Raptors. That was the Jalen Rose game. They even did a commercial for that. But this week we had a guy score 83 points. Now I'm trying to get the stats for you so I can show you how it went down or what happened, and I'm trying to compare the stats. I'm trying to compare the stats to where you can see what he did, but I don't think I can find it right now. But the point is, when Kobe did his 81, it was more of, oh no, I can show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Share this instead. Let me see if it's up there. Nope. So Bam Adebayo is 20 of 43. He shot 7 of 22 from three. Kobe Bryant shot 28 for 46 from the field that night when he scored 81, 7 of 13 from three. Bam Adebayo had 36 points from the free throw line. Kobe had 18. Now the rest of this don't even matter. The scores, the points, the rebounds, they both played 22 minutes. Excuse me, 42 minutes. And everybody's complaining about how Bam got his points. Now I will admit, right? At the end, they started fouling the Wizards to save the clock and give Bam Adebayo more touches to get to 83. And it's some people might say it's cheesy. Some people might say it's un it's not fair. That's what people will say. I'm saying it like this. Because of the way this game is being played now, you can't complain about nothing, right? Y'all got teams in the NBA that shoot 50, 63 pointers a game. 53 pointers a game. That's crazy. You shoot more threes than you do twos, right? So you can't complain if the scoring is up. You can't complain about it and then get mad because somebody scored 83 points. I think the problem is people are upset because it's Bam Adebayo, right? And we know that Bam Adebayo, he's a good player. He is a perennial All Star. He didn't make the All Star team this year because of the way the team played. Yet anybody that's close to getting to breaking or getting close to a all time score, they're supposed to take it. They're supposed to go at it. They're supposed to be aggressive with it, right? So I'm not upset that he shot 43 foul shots. I'm not upset he shot the ball 43 times. I'm not even upset that he shot 22 threes. That's the way this game is played now. That's the way they play it. I don't you might not like the way they play it, but that's how they play it. So you can't get upset about that man scoring 83 points. Now, I know there's some people that's upset because it's Kobe and things like that. I don't listen. I get it. I understand it. Kobe is an all-time great. Some people might say he's the second greatest player to Michael Jordan. Some might say he's the third. Don't matter in my opinion. The fact of the matter is he's great. He's an all-time player. He's an NBA champion. All of those things. But guess what Kobe would have did? Kobe would have tried to break 81 himself if he could. To be honest, the only reason why he didn't get more is because Phil Jackson took him out the game. That I know is a fact. Phil Jackson, he's something else. Y'all, some people got him as the greatest coach in the world, but what I'm saying is Phil Jackson took him out just to preserve Wilt's record. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'd have let him go. I'd have let him shoot his shoulder out if he can get 104 points. Go get it. You know what I mean? But you can't get mad that Bam Adebayo kept shooting the ball. You can't get mad at that. If you can get your name in the record book, right? For something that's encouraging as far as being the second highest scorer in NBA history. Do you understand that only 400 people play this game a year? Do you know all the years the NBA has been playing, you are the second highest scorer in the NBA. The NBA is like almost 80 years old. I think it's coming up to 80 next year. 1927, excuse me, 1947. So I'm not tripping about that. I'm not upset about that. But there are people upset because he got his Bam Adebayo. And like I said, you don't know his name. He's not a household. Well, he should be a household name. You know what I mean? Because, he plays good basketball. Most people may know him now because he's dating Asia Wilson from the WNBA. And, you know, and if you don't know who Asia Wilson is, Google her. She's a top 5 WNBA player now, and probably of all times in there. She got 3 WNBA championships. She got 3 WNBA MVP. She's like, when I tell y'all she's like that, and she's the reigning champion for the WNBA. So if y'all check her out, if y'all Google her, y'all see what I'm talking about. But they're an item, right? And so Most people may know of that, may have known him for that. If you know, some of the young ladies may know him for that because okay, he dates Asia Wilson. Okay, but he's a pretty good player himself. He's been to the NBA Finals a couple of times. You know, he's always had to defer to a teammate. Before it was Jimmy Butler. Sometimes in this season, it's Tyler Hero or some Norman Powell. He got a good team around him. That's why they're in the playoff hunt. You know, but you can't get like I said. I get it. The game was a blowout. All of that. But if I can get to 83 points, I'm shooting. I'm firing. All hands on deck. No one should be upset with that, right? But of course, you're gonna have people hating and things like that. I just think that is stupid because it doesn't. It's not the 100. You know what I mean? It's not the 100, but it's not like he desecrating the name of Kobe Bryant because he outscored him by 2 points. You know what I'm saying? You can't diminish what Kobe did. You can never diminish that. So let this man have his 83 points. Let him rock. If you make the playoffs, that's great. It's a great story for the league. Somebody got uh 17 points to the 100. You know what I mean? And just rock with that. And speaking of Wilt Chamberlain, and speaking of his scoring, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander passed Wilt Chamberlain this week for the most consecutive 20 point games. Not in a season because he's at 128 after today, meaning he got a whole season and some change of scoring 20 points in every game that he plays. And like I said, only Wilt Chamberlain had 100 and something games. He has 128. That just goes to show you that sometimes, we as spectators, we as fans, we think it's so easy to go in there and score points, right? We just think, all right, well, if you go in there and score 6 points a quarter, you can get to 20 points. Obviously, everybody can't get to 6 points a quarter because there will be more than two people with 100 consecutive 20 point games in the season. So you know the fact that he did it, the fact that he's the reigning MVP of the league, the reigning NBA Finals MVP. So we, he's up and coming. So we gotta show him love. You know we gotta show him his accolades, right? We gotta give him his props. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we should be doing. And that's what we're gonna do here. Like, come on, like y'all tripping. This man scored 128 points consecutively. Like, are we kidding? Like, that's hard to do. That is very hard to do. And so the fact that he did it is something that we should be celebrating. We should be happy about. And like I said, it's just time to give him his flowers. Um, that's just something that happened during the week. Now, going forward, we are literally 1 month away from the NBA playoffs, and even looking at the standings that I just gave you, we have to pay attention to it because by this time next Sunday, there could be more moving and shaking. Right? We might see. Uh, let's look at the standings again. Share this tab. We might see. We might see the Miami Heat at the 6th seed and the Raptors at the 7th seed, or the Sixers in the. You know what I'm saying? It just goes to show you every game is going to count with these last 16 games or whatever. What is this? Like some teams got 67 games, some teams got 66 games. this next month is going to show you how positioning and how much wins going to count and matter, right? Like Detroit, they're good. They they feel like they're not going to drop all the way to the seventh seed. Like you see the Magic is 35. You see the Raptors at 38. Excuse me, 38, and the Magic at 38. But look at the Magic. I mean, look at the Heat. The Heat is 38 in 2030. They're half game behind. They're half game behind and a game behind the Magic. So that could switch. The 76ers, they're 2 games from the five seed. Anything is possible. That's why you got to play the games. That's why you got to watch the game. You see certain things happening, right? The Cavaliers could get caught. The Knicks, maybe they can get caught. The Celtics, maybe they get caught. We don't know. But I promise you, we're gonna see some movement from at least 6 to 10. Like I said, I think the Bucks is going to be eliminated this week. I think the Bulls are going to be eliminated this week. So the 11 to 15, you might see some ease next to it because it's just a wrap. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they can. Like they're 5.5 games out. I don't think they can catch the Hornets. The Hornets is playing good basketball, and they definitely ain't catching the Hawks. The Hawks is on a 9 game winning streak unless they just fall out the sky. But this 7 to 10, it might swap. Let's just say from 5 to 10, that could be movable, right? For the Eastern Conference. So I might say, hey, we see the Raptors go from 6 to 8, so 6 to 9. Who knows? We don't, but that's why you got to watch the game. They got how many games they got? They got 67 games. They got 15 games to go. They could be caught in the Western Conference. The Lakers was just 6 when last week when I did the show. They're up a half a game of the Rockets. They play Tuesday. That game is instrumental. You see what I'm saying? If the Rockets win, they might be in third. The Lakers may be in fourth. If the Lakers win, they just keep their position, right? But look how close it is. The Rockets at 41, the Nuggets at 41, the T-Wolves at 41. They're a game behind the Rockets, right? So all of this could switch up. And if somebody play bad enough, you see the Suns, they're at 39 wins. They're only a game and a half behind the 6th seed. So they can catch up and be out of the play-in. This is why we watch the game. And I get it. A lot of people don't know about the Phoenix Suns. They may only know Devin Booker. They may not know Grayson Allen. They may not know Jalen Jalen Green. Yeah, Jalen Green's on that team. He got traded for Durant. They don't know all of that. The Clippers are trying to push themselves up. They was in the 9th seed. They out jumped the Warriors. They positioned themselves to where if we win, we stay in position. We don't gotta, like I said, the 7-8 seed, whoever wins that game only gotta play 1 game. The loser gotta play 2 games and hope he wins one out of those 2 games. The 9 and 10 seed, the winner has to win 2 games in order to make the playoffs. If the 9-10 person lose, they're eliminated. So all of these games matter. So you try to save yourself. That's why the Thunder ain't got to worry about it. The Spurs ain't got to worry about it. But everybody else is trying to make sure they don't go below that Mendoza line right there. Meaning the 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds, they got to play the play-in, which is a couple of days, maybe a week before the NBA's playoff season actually starts. The 1 versus 8, the 2 versus 7, so on and so forth. So they got to all of these games are going to matter, especially for the 7, 8, 9, 10 seed. Now, if you're trying to get home court advantage, well, not in the West because the Lakers can't catch. The Lakers will not catch the Spurs, but the 4, 5 seed, they right there. The 4 seed gets home court advantage for that round. The 3 get caught, and they got home court advantage. So it's all about not traveling too far from home to start your playoff series, and that's what these guys up here are going to fight for the 3 through 6 teams. But the 6 seed got to worry about the top and the bottom because they're right there. They're close to being in the play-in, but they're close enough to jump from 6 to 3. This is why NBA action is fantastic. Tay, what's up, Nine? How you feeling? You know what I mean? So it's all about the positioning in the NBA. So you got to really be attentive to what's going on, and you got to make sure that your team is up to par because you don't want to fall too far back to it. Damn, I got to play extra games just to make sure I make the playoffs. So it's going to be a different thing. It's going to listen. If you're a fan of basketball, you should be excited, especially in the NBA. Now we know in college the brackets just came out for the men and the women. We'll talk about that probably tomorrow. I didn't even get a chance to look at it. I saw some of it, but we'll talk about that tomorrow after we talk about we recap Raw on Monday. Um, but that's just the gist of everything as far as the um the playoffs, the seedings, and things like that. Like even when I post the standings for the NBA tomorrow, you look at that, and then we'll come back next Sunday. Like I said, they'll probably that's going to move around. I can guarantee that's going to move around. It might be a team extending their lead or somebody jumping another team. However we view it, however we look at it, we just gonna go ahead and you're gonna see it and like, damn, that's how quick that happened. 2, 3 games, and you went from third to seventh or third to ninth, something crazy like that. That's just how the NBA is. That's how fast paced this game is. And when you follow basketball the way that as I follow it, you're not even shocked because these guys they some of these guys are playing for bonuses if they make the playoffs. Some of them get bonuses just for making it, but there's teams or there's players that they get more money because hey, I'm at the Eastern Conference Final, the Western Conference Finals, I'm in the NBA Final. So all of that is about bread, and if you're serious about your bread, you're gonna do the best you can to put yourself in position to get to that bread. You can't just sit there like I'm gonna take this game off. I'm gonna take that game off. Nah, it's about you. It's about you getting yourself together. And I know a lot of these teams they want to rest some of their guys because they want to make that playoff push to get to that NBA final. But you can't afford if you can't afford it, they guys got to play. So we'll sit back and see what's going on next week as far as the NBA. We'll see how much um how far they're gonna why I can't see this. How far they go as far as the how far they go as far as the seating. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to give y'all something for the oh, this is probably tomorrow. Uh yeah, I'm trying to give y'all the preview for tomorrow for Raw. Roman Reigns is gonna be in the place tomorrow night on Raw. You got the Women's Intercontinental Championship between AJ Lee and Bailey. That's gonna pop off. Uh, Stephanie Valkyrie is gonna fight Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know if that's for the belt or not. Um, we got the original Grande Americano versus the AKA Grande Americano. I don't know which one it is. If it's Rayo Bravo, I don't know which one it is. Maxine Dupree is gonna fight Natty. Uh, I'm pretty sure that Roman's going to be there. So Roman's going to be there. Punk is going to be there. Brock Lesnar is supposed to pop up and see who's going to accept his challenge for WrestleMania. So that's all tomorrow. Uh, so we'll figure all of those things out tomorrow. We'll talk. Like I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about the some scores that let's see who's playing tomorrow. So that way I already know. what I'll be talking about tomorrow. Scheduled for it's tonight. I'm saying tomorrow because it's Monday, but I mean I'm still on Sunday, but it's tomorrow. We got one, two, three, four. We got look. I said tomorrow. I said the Rockets and Lakers play Tuesday. They play tomorrow night. They play tomorrow. Uh, the Clippers play the Spurs tomorrow. The Mavericks play the Pelicans. The Bulls host the Grizzlies. The Nets host the Trailblazers. The Celtics host the the Phoenix Suns. The Washington Wizards host the Golden State Warriors, who playing a back to back. And the Orlando Magic are going down to Atlanta, who was supposed to have a Magic City day. Let me explain what happened with Magic City. For those of y'all that don't know, down in Atlanta, there's a club called Magic City. If you're from Atlanta, you know that's a strip club. You know that's where an NBA player uh, famously went from the bubble to Magic City to get some lemon peppers wings. That place is well, they act like the place is not synonymous with the NBA, but when he did that in the bubble, when he got suspended for it, that made them a part and that made them folklore legend. But they're already folklore legend because, like I said, it's a strip club, and they're gonna say it's a gentleman's club, but it's a strip club. Girls is shaking their money makers and things like that, right? And the Hawks were going to acknowledge the gentleman's club, and the NBA stepped in and said, "Nah, y'all can't do that. We're gonna make y'all cancel it." And the Hawks actually did cancel it, which is, I mean, I guess you want the NBA to be family friendly. So I can understand why they did that, but at the same time, if it's, I guess it's bigger than the Hawks. I guess they represent the NBA, but if not, it's a very unique conversation to have, just to say the least. But there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. There's 8 games tomorrow. That'll be that we'll be talking about tomorrow. Yeah, Natty's tripping because she see the girl Maxine Dupree. She was the Intercontinental Champion. She was rocking, and then all of a sudden, don't Tay, you hit Tay must have dipped off. Tay must have dipped off. Tay must have dipped off. She ain't working no damn Magic City. Leave Tay alone, man. Well, maybe she. No, I ain't gonna say that because you like you feed into him. No, I'm not. I ain't going there. She ain't worked there though. Real, let's cut it out. But yeah. But Natty was training Maxine Dupree, and Maxine Dupree won the belt, and I guess she didn't acknowledge that she got help from her, and so she's supposed to be mad. I just think these old heads is just coming back for WrestleMania season. Oh, she saw it. she saw it. She saw it. But when you got Natalia coming back, and then you got the Bella twins trying to come back. All right, well, you see what she said. Real look, that's what you said. This is what she said. How you like those apples? Get them 9. But yeah, I just think that the WWE is just bringing back all their noticeable names from the past 20 years and just trying to build the WrestleMania season up in totality. I don't, you know, like I said, we only got 5 matches for WrestleMania, so we'll watch tomorrow, see if they'll start making some more matches. Like, they only got a month to go, right? They literally got 4 weeks to go in order to have the WrestleMania event. And I don't think you can have 2 nights with 5 matches. So like I said last week, I think they'll put the belts up. There are going to be some more belts up. I think AJ's going to put her belt up in Mania. I think they're going to have Julia put her belt up. The women's tag team champions are going to have to put it up. The Usos going to have to put their belts up just to make sure that there's more matches and people could watch it. And then these WrestleManias are going to be 3 hours long. So how you going to have it 3 hours long if you only got like 4 matches? like five matches or 5 matches in 2 days. So it'll probably be maybe 4-4. So you might get a couple more matches. I just think they'll be for the belt. And plus Brock Lesnar is a part of the 5 already. So we'll just have to sit back and see what's going to happen. I'm anxious to see how Rome is going to respond to what happened last week, as far as the Usos punching Punk in the mouth. So we'll see all of that tomorrow. We'll discuss that tomorrow. And like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I could do a bracket on. I don't know if I could do a bracket on the live, but I'll discuss the bracket. I think there's gonna be some upsets in college basketball. I think and then I gotta be careful because I know a person that that's going to be in there as a head coach, and he we grew up. Well, he grew up not far from where I'm at. Well, we grew up in the same neighborhood. Maybe he's a different era, but we grew up in the same area. That's just being nice. We in the same town, but you know what I mean. So I try not, you try to get the personal feelings out of it, and you try to pick it the way you see fit. So it's going to be an interesting thing. Oh, realers, you was out there throwing them dollar bills, yo. Realers, I can't see you in there. Realers, you was in there, but yeah, so and then the women's, it's just it's just straight basketball season right now. Oh, you retired? He said he retired. It's definitely basketball season though. Like I said, the the college basketball scene will be taking over this week. The play-ins for the men's is Wednesday and Thursday. I think the women's start tomorrow. So we're gonna see a lot of things happening. We're anticipating a good week of basketball for both the professionals and the quote unquote amateurs. They're not amateurs anymore. They're getting paid like the professionals. So but even with that, it's not the blue blood teams that you just going. I don't see the blue bloods just being up there. The Kentuckies, the UCLA's, and teams like that. This NIL has got talented players throughout the country. They switch it from school to school. You know what I mean? If you can make 600,000 and play college basketball and take care of your family, that's a blessing. But you might have to go from somewhere like New York to Boise, Idaho, or Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, or Tempe, Arizona. You know what I mean? You might have to go from a big city to a small one just to play college basketball. They paying you and you get a scholarship at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So that changes the dynamic of college basketball. How it used to be. It used to be just straight recruiting. Now it's about if I can give you 600,000, if I can give you 50,000, whatever the numbers are. These kids are playing. They're getting paid to play college basketball, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I just hope they get taught how to manage their money to where they just don't blow it. You know what I mean? Because just think of an 18-year-old with $400,000 in his account or $200,000 in their account. You know what I mean? They have to be financially educated. Hopefully, they got somebody around them to manage and maintain their understanding of what to do with that money. If not, they may be in a world of trouble. But it's just a week for basketball, y'all. To be quite honest, um, I'm just glad that I had somebody here to say, "Yo, I need you to get off of mute and start the show over," and I, pretty much did. Shout out to Realist. You know what I mean? But this is just that week. This is just like I said. This is just the week of we seeing the dynamics of the NBA coming towards its playoffs season. The college basketball scene is at their uh, playoff season. This is one of the listen. If you know anybody that went to a college, if they team made it, you'll see how excited they are. You'll see somebody. Well, if you went like I saw LIU Brooklyn up there. You know, I'm from New York. So it's like, damn, look at LIU Brooklyn. I ain't see LIU Brooklyn up there since a family friend of mine was, playing on LIU Brooklyn some 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I see you repping, but it's a totally different thing now, right? You got you got people repping schools that they went to. Like if you went to Connecticut, you shouting "Go UConn." If you went to St. John's, you shouting "St. John's out." You know that's a New York City school, right? Um, so it's just the dynamics, and then they got Hofstra there. Like I said, shout out to Speedy Claxton, Commander. What up, Nine? Shout out to Speedy Claxton. You know that's the guy I was telling you about that we grew up in the same community, right? So when you have those dynamics and you see like it hits close to home, and and you're not trying to be a homer, but be a real a realist, not the realist one, but a realist. You understand like damn that's crazy. Like if you gotta like if my co-host, my 33 brother was here, he probably be like, yo, I'm gonna rock with Michigan instead of Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Because they both made the tournament. If he was following college basketball, but that's how some of us do. We rock with the team, but when you have those dynamics, because you're not a homer, you actually follow the game. You have to be okay. I think this team could win it. This team might could win it. Michigan play good ball. Michigan could be in the Final Four. That could be very well possible. But I'm not just going to say it because they are. I'm from Detroit. You know what I mean? I'm from that area. I'm from I'm from Saginaw, so I'm going with Michigan State. I'm from Lansing. I'm going with Michigan State. No, I'm not going to do that. If you follow the sport, you follow the sport. Now, maybe they might be watching the sport because they on the news and things like that. But it's gonna be it's gonna be some weird things happening in that thing. It's gonna be a team that you never heard of that's gonna win a game. Like, wow, that's crazy. I ain't know somebody from VCU. You don't even know what VCU is. They beat somebody from Arizona. You know what I mean? Like how that happened? Because you heard the name Arizona, the University of Arizona. But that's the thing about and then you see the fan base, and you see a whole bunch of kids rallying behind their school. They travel with their team. Okay, we from Arizona, but we going down to Charlotte, North Carolina, or something to that extent. They follow the team. That's what brought that's what gives that tournament the reputation that it got. Like, yo, the fan base just follows them. They go from here to here to here, then they go to the Final Four, and it'd be like 40, 50,000 in the stadium cheering these four teams on. Let's go, team. Let's go. And that's the dynamics of what's happening starting this week. The field of 68 is going to be broken down to 32 by Sunday. Then it's going to be broken down again to 16, then 8, then 4, then championship, right? And that's for the men and the women. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's just basketball season, and we'll cover that. We'll cover that as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I might look at the bracket and put my predictions in. I don't know if I can do it on the computer at the same time. I don't know, but we're gonna try it if we can. If not, we'll just say who I think is gonna win for the first weekend, which starts Thursday. Matter of fact, I gotta start Tuesday because there's two teams. It's two teams that's trying to get in there Wednesday and Thursday, or four teams, excuse me, trying to get in there Wednesday and Thursday. So, or Tuesday and Wednesday rather. So I have to go ahead and look at it early, and I might do that. Like I said, I might do that tomorrow. So I just got to look at it. Outfit. Oh, Commander, I'm gonna put this. Oh man, Tate said, "Hey, Commander." Commander's shouting everybody out, but I'm gonna lead it up. She answered. Realist is crazy. He said you think you know a person. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, but that was something crazy though, realist. They really was gonna do a Magic City night. And then because what happened was Ti was gonna do the halftime show and they was had merchandise and stuff like that to celebrate Magic City. But the NBA came in and stopped that, like, nah, we can't let you do that, man. That's we know what that is. Y'all say it's a gentleman's club all you want. We know what the gentlemen want out of that club, and it ain't just some damn lemon pepper wings. So, it that a couple players got upset about it. They brought it up to the league attention. The league had to get involved with it, and like I said, that would have been tomorrow, but that's been canceled. So Ti won't be showing the singing of nothing tomorrow. Yeah, that's what they but it wasn't like they was gonna go in there and perform. Like, Diamond from Players Club wasn't going out there to perform at halftime. You know what I mean? They just went ham with it, and they took it the wrong way, and now they sitting there they're not gonna do it. I get it. You know what I mean? You want this to be family oriented. You thought people was gonna bring their kids out and watch. Nah, they ain't got that. They ain't doing all that though. But like I said, I get it. It I don't have a complaint either way. I ain't going to the game, so I don't have a complaint either way. It's just the way they presented it. You would so they'd have did something for some a store, like they'd have did something for Walmart. That'd have been okay though, right? They could do it because it's Walmart, but you can't do it for the local city or the local facility or the local business that's close to the place. Like, who knows? They could have gave you some. They could have gave you some free lemon pepper wing going to the game tomorrow. But I guess they can't do that because y'all said Magic City shut it down, and they shut it down. So you know, but that's just the gist of what happened this week in the NBA. So we went from canceling Magic City to a man scoring 83 points and people complaining about that because they broke Kobe Bryant record. They selling more. Yeah, they selling cotton candy. They selling something sweet. It ain't that cotton candy. I don't know. But we went from Kobe Bryant 81 being replaced by the 83, and people complaining about that instead of celebrating it. Then we also went from that to a man scoring 20 points in 128 straight games, which is a record now. Only somebody did it 126. He topped it. And what we talked about the most was the Magic City conversation, which is crazy all on its own. But I get it. Like I said, I'm gonna stick to the sports, but that's part of the sports conversation. We had it, and we'll see what happens. Well, I'm gonna try to get some Atlanta news down there and find out what's going on in there. They probably like because they said they sold merchandise. I don't know what they were selling. I'm trying to figure out what they were selling, what merch they had. Maybe they had Magic City T-shirts. I know they had no, they had nothing else. But yeah, that's just the dynamics of what happened this week from the NBA. We're gonna stay on top of that information to where I can keep you updated and show you why every game is going to count for the next month in the NBA. So we got a lot of things to look forward to. Um, we will definitely be back. I don't say tomorrow. We'll be back in 23 hours to see what happened on Raw. Give you some scores and highlights from the NBA, and maybe predict some NCAA brackets for to see how far. I'll see if I can be accurate as far as picking brackets because y'all might be surprised, but there's millions of people going to pick a bracket, and they got one to where if a person is perfect, he can get $1 million or she can get $1 million. So I won't be the only. I'm not doing it for that, but I know I won't be the only one trying to predict brackets. I can tell you that right now. So in this fun of a thing, if I can, I will do that to predict the brackets. If not, I'll probably just show the brackets for that week, for Thursday and Friday, just to give you guys a inkling of how much I've been watching college basketball or what I think of college basketball. So all of that will be on tomorrow's show. The scores and stats that was given tonight was brought to you by the realest one, who always tells you to act accordingly, and by the 9%, where a better you is a better us. Shout out to the sponsors tonight. Shout out to Commander. It's always a blessing to see Commander. It's always a blessing to see Tay. It's always a blessing to see the Nine in the building on Channel 9 Studios. It's always a blessing to see those guys. Those ladies. And of course, the day one, the realest one in the building. Always appreciate you being here. But we will be back in 23 hours. Until then, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33. I'm just glad I recovered well enough to have a show nonetheless. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in 23 hours. Have a good night, y'all. See y'all tomorrow.